Welcome to the full-time report of the post-game show presented by Bucs Report. I'm Coach Slick. It's time to vent, guys. That was a rough watch. I'm a little hoarse, not because of the game. I'm feeling a little bit ill, so that was a hard game to watch, guys. That was real tough. 18-20, Buccaneers fall to the Steelers in the Steel City against a quarterback that can barely grip a ball, and then a quarterback that struggled to win against a defensive back group that's missing 3 corners and a star safety. And we did not take advantage of that matchup at all. Questions have to be asked of this offense. Have to be. Yeah, we can talk about the defense giving up yards and stuff like defenses will give up as defense give up. But I'm going to tell you, right, I didn't do too many notes because as that game got on, my pen started to go down. The pen started to go down because I was yelling at the TV. So I got to about halftime. Buccaneers did well to seal it off the way they did towards halftime to get that extra field goal. Great from Suckup. Suckup, you're a dude. You're probably the only person worth talking about on this defense right now, other than Antoine Winfield. Everyone else made so many mistakes. Let's talk about Buccaneers' first drive. 3 plays, less than 40 seconds. Great. Good job. Let's go for the next one. Steelers go in. 3 different wide receivers he hits. Boom, boom, boom. Could have nailed it off. But Devin White has a bonehead roughing the passer play on 3rd down. Are you kidding me? You just go up to a guy, he's thrown the ball, and you just push him down to the ground for the sake of no reason. Well, even I would call that. That was a bonehead play. And I'm not saying the game hinged on that, not at all. There was a lot of crap. There was a lot of shit on it. That was an offensive shower of shit. We got supposedly the best quarterback in football, the GOAT, coupled with Mike Evans and a Chris Godwin he couldn't hit because he kept on throwing at Chris Godwin's knee. Is he trying to give him another ACL injury by throwing at his knee? Look, I get that Chris Godwin can catch difficult balls, but make it a bit easier for him. Jesus Christ. We look like we got a pop gun offense, but we're driving a Rolls Royce. We got a pop gun offense and we got a bazooka. We actually have a bazooka and we ain't using it. We're still playing pop gun. It was really hard to watch from an offensive standpoint. We kept on trying to run the ball. Establish the run. If the run's not there, take what's on offer. I don't think they coupled up Mike Evans. I don't think they did. There's too many receiving options out there. Unfortunately, my thoughts go out to Cameron Brake. We don't know what the injury was. We're guessing it's a concussion. We don't know. He was stretchered off, probably hit to the head and neck area, so therefore they will take all the precautions they can, and rightly so. We know what's been going on in concussion world right now in the NFL. Let's go to the next drive. Harris TD, long drive. These are just my notes. Why didn't Devin White pick up the running back peeling out? If it's man coverage, which it looked like it was. Now I'll have to relook at the play. This is just my honest reaction as the game has gone. Devin White needs to pick up that guy. There was no one else left to pick him up. You see him. The one thing I always coach is if you're the inside linebacker and you see him peel out, unless you have, and this is why it's important. I'm going to go here because you could argue it's the outside linebacker's job. It's the outside linebacker's job if he's not a pass rusher. If he's a pass rusher, which he's most likely to be in a 3-4 defense, it's going to be someone like Devin White's job. Devin White was on that side, and he just continued to look at the quarterback, didn't see the guy peel out, ball was thrown over his head, ran in for a touchdown. That's why he was wide open. He wasn't picked up. That was poor. We can't have that. Buccaneers, great return from White. He really really had a nice little return there. Fournette had a couple of good runs here and there. Chris Godwin with these hard catches, and the Buccaneers go and get a field goal. Go out in 5 minutes. I've got down 3 minutes. The second drive of the Steelers, Winfield sack. Darden doing this, blessing himself. It almost seems like a disaster at this point when you see someone do that. You don't want to see that. That's not filling me full of confidence. He's like, please let me catch this ball. Nah, not good. Let's go into that. The Steelers get the ball. The Bucs get the ball back. Their third drive. We get a field goal stored out at the 1, so we go 6-7. Steelers field goal, 55 yards, 6-10. 4 minutes left. Buccaneers less than a minute. Throws to Chris. Scotty Miller makes a nice tackle in special teams. His speed was elite. So anyone wondering why he was still on the team, and I was advocating for him, I was getting a bit fed up with what he was doing offensively. But he does play special teams. So argument made and met. Steelers quick out, 2:11 left on the clock. Darden decides to do a little jig. Don't know why. He likes doing that. Buccaneers fifth drive, quick out. 54 seconds left on the clock. Steelers quick out, less than 20 seconds left on the clock. And the Buccaneers scrape a field goal with less than 20 seconds, just over 20 seconds left on the clock. They go up and get it to 9 points. Let's have a look at the stats. Tom Brady goes 25 for 40, 243 yards. The only good thing you can say about Tom Brady right now is he's not turning over the ball. That's the only thing you can say, because we're not an offensive juggernaut that we once were. Something is not right, and it starts with Tom. We can blame the line. We can blame this. He's had time to pass. Something isn't right with this Buccaneers offense, and I can't put my finger 100% on what it is. Or is it a combination? Guys, please comment, like, subscribe, bitch, moan. It's fine. It's one of those games. Honestly, I'm not feeling it today. I'm not happy about that. Buccaneers had to go up against a team that had 3 defensive backs out, and we mustered up 18 points. That is disappointing. And we obviously tried to throw it because Tom Brady threw the ball 40 times. Leonard Fournette rushing gets himself 63 yards, 21 carries. Rachaad White, 4 carries for 12. The run game just isn't there. As much as we want to turn around and go, we are trying to be more balanced, fuck the balanced. Let's throw the fucking ball. Because balance isn't working for us. Throwing the ball did. And let's see if our throwing prowess can open up the run game, because they're biting on the pass game. Maybe that's the way to do it, because right now we're not running the football. Chris Godwin, 6 receptions for 95 yards, probably dropped almost as many because Tom Brady was like throwing at his feet. Don't know why. Mike Evans, he's got 4 for 42. Here we go. Yeah. Tom Brady converts 50% of his passes. So he was targeted 12 times, reeled in 6 for 95 yards. Leonard Fournette was 6 for 6, touchdown, 36 yards. K. Dotton, 23 yards, 3 targets, 2 catches. Russell Gage, 2 for 4. He's 50% for 20 yards. Cameron Brate, 2 for 3, 2 out of 3 for 14. Rachaad White, 3 out of 4 for 11. Rashad Perriman targeted 1 time for nothing. Fumbles. Tom Brady fumbled but never lost it. Passes defensed. Carl Nassib, Carlton Davis, and Devin White. Tackling leader was Levante David with 7 tackles and 6 assists. Jamal Dean, 5 tackles. Antoine Winfield, 5 tackles. D. Delaney, 4 and 1. Keanu Neal, 3 and 1. Colton Davis, 3 and 1. Devin White, 3 and 5. Shaquille Barrett, 2 and 5. Where was Shaquille Barrett? Our pass rush seemed non-existent, if I'm honest. It was hard to watch. Colin Nassib gets himself a sack, so that's great to see for him. And then obviously Antoine Winfield gets himself 1. But this defense, they still held out. I mean, they still 20 points, you've got a chance to win a game in today's NFL. But we are not lethal with the ball like we once were. And the only thing that's really changed is and I'm being honest here, is the center, the guard, technically the other guard, but Shaq Mason is a Pro Bowl level player, so it's not like we were losing too much out of it. I don't believe that's the reason. Tom Brady wasn't under duress all game. I mean, there was pressure on him for sure. Ryan Suckup is probably the star of the game and gets himself 4 field goals, 54 long, which everyone says he can't kick 50-yard field goals. Well, he can now. So I'll take that. 5 points by Jake Camarada. And then we got White with 2 returns for 27 yards. Jalen Darden, 3 returns with an average of 4.7, so pretty poor. Does anyone have any positives they'd like to spin? Because the only positive I can see is our defense didn't give 50. Because they were moving the ball at will in a time when they should not be moving the ball at will. That was a hard watch, guys. So what do the Buccaneers need to do? They need to regroup. We got a game coming up. We're going to be on the road again, I guess. So Buccaneers got some stuff to fix for sure. Right now, it was a hard watch. So we go to the first quarter. The Buccaneers got 3. The Pittsburgh Steelers got themselves 7. And the Buccaneers get 6 in the second. And 3. Pittsburgh get 3 in the second. The Buccaneers trade off with 3 for 3. And then, obviously, the Buccaneers go 6 and they go 7 in the final quarter. To finish that off. I've never been so pissed at a game, to be brutally honest. We just weren't good enough. Offensively, we weren't good enough. Defensively, we made some stupid mistakes. But I can't get mad at a defense that gives up 20 points. We should be in a position to win a game with that offense. On paper, that offense can score more than 20 points a game. What was the average that we scored last year? Over 35? Would have won the game if we just hit our average. And that's the frustrating part, is that we were unable to, the Buccaneers have been unable to put the ball in the end zone. We just haven't been able to do it. And people are going to, the Buccaneers fans right now, the knee-jerk reaction is going to be all sorts of stuff. It's going to be fire Byron Leftwich. It's going to be, here's one for you guys. Why is it always Byron Leftwich's fault when we lose, but when we win, it's all Tom Brady's credit? Because a lot of people seem to think that Tom Brady runs the offense because Tom Brady's Tom Brady, right? But when we lose, Tom Brady's accountability disappears all of a sudden. I'm talking about these specific fans personally, the ones that say this shit. The ones that say this shit, that turn around and say, it's Tom's offense, it's Tom's offense, it's Tom's offense. Well, if it's Tom's offense, Tom Brady's the problem. If it's Byron Leftwich's offense, it's Byron Leftwich is technically the problem. But you can't flip and flop between the two. You got to pick one and stick with it. I think it's a collaborative effort, and this collaboration is not looking well. Can someone go and call BA and put some red pen on a fucking game plan for me? Because that's all I'm asking. Because when BA was doing that, we were winning games. Comfortably winning games against weaker opposition. We go against the Pittsburgh Steelers team when BA was there, we'd have put a fucking 40 points on them. Guaranteed. There was only a couple of hiccups that we had. So, BA, if you can hear me, go and take your red pen, march down there, grab that thing and just let's go. Because what we've been seeing on display in the last 5 weeks is not good, and 6 weeks is not good enough. We went through 4 games that were real tough games. Really tough games. Where any way you could slice it, coming out of it 2-2 weren't bad. We come out of it 2-2. We get back on track. We have to be helped out by a penalty, for Christ's sake, to win a game against a team that we should have comfortably beat. Then we go to the Steel City, play against a team that is beat up in their secondary and muster 18 points. Are you kidding me? With the GOAT. Our entire offense doesn't hinge on a tight end, so we can't say Gronk's missing. So anyone turning around at me saying Gronk's missing, that's not the reason this offense isn't good. Gronk was out a lot of the time, and when he first excuse me, when he first joined the team, it took him a while to embed into the team. And we weren't losing games left, right, and center then. So it's not the tight end that's the problem. The problem is something isn't right. This team used to be explosive in the red zone. Now, it's almost like we get to the red zone and it's like, oh, we're going to get a field goal. Tom Brady can't even sneak a ball no more. Something is inherently wrong, and I don't know what to put my finger on for what it is. And I'm soul searching. I'm trying to figure this bitch out, but it's just not been good enough. So let's have a look at the Steelers and what they were able to muster. Mitchell Trubisky goes 12 attempts for 9 completions. That's not good enough. We can't allow that. 144 yards, 1 touchdown. Kenny Pickett with the smallest hands in football. 18 attempts for 11 conversions. It's a bit better. I think we kind of got into the game with him. 67 yards. So the Buccaneers only gave up just over 200 yards passing. Let's put it together. Najee Harris was 14 carries for 42 yards. Kenny Pickett with 2 for 16 and then 2 for 8 on Dante Johnson. Chase Claypool for 1 for 8. Mitchell Trubisky 6 for 5. Jalen Warren 2 for 2 yards. And George Pickens 1 for 1 yard. Steven Sims 1 for -5. So defensively, you couple all that up. I believe it's under or just slightly over 100 yards. I'll take that. I'll take the less than just over 200 yards, because that means they mustered less than 300. They mustered just over 300 yards of offense. That ain't bad. It ain't great. It ain't bad. But what we did wasn't good enough. And I'm good. Let's have a look what Tom Brady got, because I want to look at this again. Tom Brady got 243 yards. Running the ball, we got about 300. We're on around about the same because we kept stalling out because we were trying these crazy things that just weren't working. I don't know how anyone else feels about this, and please feel free. Remember, always, guys, hit the like button, strip that subscribe button out, and sack that notification button. And please intercept me in the comments. Let's have a look. Chase Claypool goes. He has that argument now. He's an elite wide receiver because he just went up against an elite defense and got 96 yards and a touchdown. 96 yards and a touchdown against an elite defense. Connor Hayward gets himself 59 for 3 targets. Oh, and Chase Claypool, by the way, 100% of his catches. Yeah. 100% of his catches. Connor Hayward goes 3 targets for 2 receptions, 49 yards. So split the difference on that. He basically got about 25 yards per a reception, which is terrible for us. Dante Johnson, 7 targets for 5, gets himself 28 yards. George Pickens, 3 for 6, or 50% of his catch rate, 27 yards. Najee Harris, he goes 3 to 2 and gets himself 7 yards. And at TD, Zach Gentry, 1 for 1 and 4 yards. No fumbles happened, but unfortunately, no one capitalized on any fumbles. So there we go. No interceptions, obviously. 1 pass defense by Miles Jack, Robin Spillane. Malik Reed and Alex Highsmith all get 1. Tackling leader was Miles Jack with 6 to 2 on the attempt. Tackle versus attempt. Troy Edmonds is 6 and 4. Trey Norwood was 6-0. Josh Jackson 6-0. Devin Bush 6-1. And let's look at the sacks, because this is the big statistic to me. How much was he down? He got hit on the ground, live play, taken to the ground on a live play twice. No, that's not pressures. That's different. We know that. But the Buccaneers offense has been uncharacteristically off since the start of the season. There hasn't been one game. No, there's been one game, Kansas City, where we turned it up. We guilty of being too conservative right now? Because that's got to change. If we're being conservative, Coach Bowles and Coach Leftwich, hear me out. It's time to just unload the playbook, because we look terrible. If we look terrible and we keep winning, yeah, I get it. But we're not looking good right now. We look bad and we're playing bad, and we're now hoping we're now in a position where we're hoping teams in our division lose, so we have an opportunity to stay up front. James Matt says we are not getting the job done on both sides of the line of scrimmage. We need to be we're either going or getting pushed back or manhandled. I somewhat agree with that. I think the struggles are more on offense. You got to remember, this team I just said earlier, just over 200 yards passing against this Buccaneers offense, and let's face it, most of those were the Chase play. You take the ones to Chase Claypool. He got 94. So I don't think it's just. I do think there's something. I agree with you in the sense of we're not as good as in the trench as we once were, for sure. If I was the Buccaneers, I'm looking hard at what the offense is doing, and I'm looking hard on what is wrong. Because at the moment, what do we need? Defensively, I know what everyone's going to say, and I'm 100% in agreement. Go get frickin' Sue. Let's swallow our pride and go and get Sue, because things weren't bad when that guy was there. I don't care what Pro Football Focus said. I don't care about that stuff. What I care about is what he brought to the team, and what he brought to the team was attitude. I'm not saying this team has no attitude. I'm really not saying that. What I'm saying is, when you have Ndamukong Suh there, the attitude level just goes. That guy is a mean son of a bitch. Bring him back, please. You're probably going to get him for a song and a dance right now. Well, maybe a lot less. James Matt says, we have Hicks. So I got a question for you, Matt. And more happy if you want to come on, and I'll post you a link and you can come on. I'm cool with that. Where's Hicks? Where was Hicks? He's injured. And we do not have a timetable for when he's back. So the Buccaneers took a gamble on going for a guy who was younger than Suh. I get it. Makes sense. It really does. It makes absolute sense. The problem is Hicks is more injury prone than Suh. And Suh is beat up right now. So James, yeah, he's hurt. Absolutely. And let's chat. Okay, brother. I'll post something in the comments. Just bear with me a moment and I'll get this done. Here we go. Let's get this done. So anyone seeing this, if it comes. There we go. Yeah. So I've just posted a link. If you guys want to come in and jump in and get your rant off, get your feelings out there, by all means, let's chat. James, I'd love to have a chat with you. Let's get this going. But the Buccaneers took a gamble in trying to go for somebody like Hicks, who's younger, and you're probably down the line. They're probably thinking down the line he's going to be with the team for much longer. If he shows what he can do, then we'll re-sign him. But I'm going to bring in our guy, James. James Matz, welcome to the stream. How's it going, brother?
How you doing?
Not too bad. That was a shower of shit, wasn't
It's going real well.
it? Oh, the pain. That was not what we expected, was it? How does a team go against and how do you go against a team that's got three DBs out, three corners out, and one Pro Bowl safety out, and you muster 18 points with the GOAT, with Mike Evans, with Chris Godwin, with Russell Gage, who, when he was with Atlanta, was a solid slot receiver. Now, the tight end position has always been a conundrum, and that was one of the things that we all knew coming into this season, that this tight ends team, we just didn't know what we were going to get out of it. We signed a Carl Rudolph hoping that he might solidify it a bit more. That hasn't happened. We hope that Cameron Brate would rise to the occasion, because in the past, he's had a season with 5 touchdowns and 600 yards or 500 yards. So we know that he can perform. But he's not Gronk. What? And I'm going to ask you now, James, what do the Buccaneers need to do to fix these problems, in your opinion?
Okay, I wanted to wait and catch up because it seemed like I'm in a lag, but let me do my best here.
Okay.
The problem is one of attitude. I think that, as the coach said in the press conference, you can't read the press clips. The team is in a new season, and every time someone plays you, that's their Super Bowl. So you have to really match their intensity first.
I disagree with that, because we're no longer Super Bowl champions. We're a good team for sure. We're not the Super Bowl champions. There is less of a target on the Buccaneers back. Yes, Tom Brady's there, and there's the added target of that. But that's been there since he's got here. That's never changed. So why is it a problem now? Because it wasn't a problem last year. It wasn't a problem the year before. So why is it all of a sudden a problem now? I get it. Last year, we had a lot of adversity because everyone wanted to pit the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but we are not the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers anymore. That's why people are doing that to the LA Rams. This is why the LA Rams are struggling, because everyone's bringing their A game to them. They're not bringing it to us. I'm not saying they're not bothering with us, and they're not. Every team brings their game, and they're probably bringing it to a point that they're going against Tom Brady, right? So my question is, what you personally, if you could, you're the GM, put your GM hat on, what would you do personally if you could do something? What would you do? Would you trade for somebody? Would you go for a free agent? Or would you just go with what you got and coach them harder, I guess?
I think they don't have a level of continuity right now. It was similar to the first season that they were together.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they have to continue to work hard to get through this phase. I think you're seeing a lot of that in the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that they can do, however, is they have to understand who they are on the offensive side of the ball. Are they going to, run the ball with pass first, run second, run first, pass second? Who are they on the offensive side of the ball? The defensive side of the ball, they have to understand that you have to get some pressure on the quarterback up the middle. And that's what they're not getting when they're rushing forward. That's why the quarterback seems to always be able to make that play on third and long. There's been inconsistency on them to be able to get out and have.
No, I agree. I think third down has been a real problem for this Buccaneers defense. I mean, ultimately, the defense actually hasn't been playing that bad if you take away pardon me, if you take away the Kansas City games. We haven't gave up tons of yards. We haven't been butchered. The problem is that I'm a defensive coach outside of this. So when I see an offense stalling and stalling and stalling, I'm thinking, you guys are screwing up my you're screwing with the energy levels and the tiredness, the fatigue of my defense, and that irritates me. So when I see a Tom Brady led team going 3 and out, and we burnt a whole of a minute and a half or 40 seconds sometimes, that irritates me, because now my defense has to go and perform again to keep you guys in it. And that's what I'm not seeing. There seemed to be more cohesion between the offense and defense. And I think something you just said, which really clicked with me, was when you said, I think you said identity on offense. That I don't think we're quite there yet. This new team, this whole new system, we could speak of with Coach Byron Leftwich. They said they were going to try and be more balanced, that they didn't want to just be pass. And in all fairness, that kind of makes sense, because Tom Brady's 45. You do not want him throwing 50-odd passes per game, because when we get to the end of the season, that arm is absolutely worn out. So you don't want to be like that. So I get it, but it feels like we're trying to push a run game that isn't happening, and we're not adapting as we're playing the game. This team is not opening rushing lanes particularly well. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not, and that happens. That's football. But it feels very much disjointed. And we just can't seem to get the continuity right. Coupled with that, I think the defense has played okay. Right now, I give them a B minus, because they're not giving up touchdowns here and there. Now, that game was a poor game because it was the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's face it. That game should have been a shutout. Now, I don't know if you've seen, but in the last game, Greg Olman of The Athletic asked Devin White, why'd you guys, how did that happen in the fourth quarter? And he went, we got bored of imposing our will on a team, and they kind of made their plays and what have you. And I was like, I don't want to see that. And I look at the first touchdown that they got. Devin White didn't peel away. That back went out, and he just stayed stuck staring at that quarterback. He was ball watching. And then he watched that ball go over his head, completed, ran in for a touchdown. That was what went wrong on that one. Now, I don't know the play call. I can only, and this is why I don't judge too much, because I'm not the one calling play, so I don't know if they were in cover 3, cover 4, but it looked like that's where he was supposed to go. You have that guy peel out. If it's zone, there should be someone in that flat zone, so he would never be able to complete that unless someone pulled him forward. It is what it is. Look, the Buccaneers pipped a game that we didn't expect them to pip. That does happen. We know it's. We all preach any given Sundays, and Buccaneers fans more than anything, we know this. We know, because we've been that franchise that we're like, wow, this team's like 4-1. Any given Sunday, we can take them, yeah, because we've had that attitude, and we know that sometimes it can happen. I'm just gonna have a quick little take through my comments for a second. And Truth 247. Don't forget their Pro Bowl linebacker was up too. Yeah, he was. This is the thing: you're losing the best pass rusher, you're losing 3 corners, and you lose Pro Bowl free safety. This offense should have put a lot more points. I was expecting it was going to be about 30, if I'm honest. There is no risk it, no biscuit. No more risk it, no biscuit. Yeah, absolutely. The offense is playing the worst. It has offensive the offense play calls are too conservative. This is Tom Brady's fault, and the coordinator throws the fucking ball downfield. I get you. I'm like, the broadcast was talking about how Mike Evans didn't get a lot of ball. I don't think he was that covered. I don't think Tom Brady trusts Mike Evans like he trusts Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin got every ball going, and they were aimed at his feet, for crying out loud. Like, I know that Chris Godwin has good hands. It's been one of his reps throughout his entire tenure as a Buccaneer. Mike Evans is that slinger on a rope. Put that ball in the air. He'll climb the ladder, pull it down. He won't get you no yards after contact, because that's not what he does, or yards after catch. He'll get you no yak. He'll come down, complete it, first freaking down, touchdown. That's what he does. That's why he is one of the best in the league at what he does. I just want Tom Brady to be a bit more no risk it, no biscuit, and go get it and throw that ball on a rope. Top shelf. Tom Brady, from Tom Brady to Mike Evans, so we can get some tutties in. Right now, we ain't seeing nothing like that. Teresa Baxter, my co-host of my other show that we do. Teresa does a show with me called I got confused for a split second, called Buck Wild, that we do on Saturdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Run to the right, run to the left, pass, kick, and let's not forget, start out the game with penalties. Yep. And that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. That we weren't good enough. And it showed. It felt like this Buccaneers team didn't want to win that game until it was at the last minute for the offense. Defensively, we wanted it, and then it kind of slowly slipped out of our hands. There's going to be a lot of soul searching right now, because this Buccaneers team should right now personally be in the win column of 4-2, in my opinion. But it didn't happen. Any given Sunday, the Buccaneers go down. They got another game. They got Baltimore coming up, and they got some other games coming up too, and they aren't easy. Do you really want? You need to convert the wins that are easier. I'm not saying this is an easy win. I had a guy who I was talking to bring on one of my shows across the Bucking Pond, and he said, "I don't know if it's worth talking about. You guys are going to win that game. There's no way we win that game." That's it. So, guys, I'm about done here. If anyone wants to pop in a comment or join in, please let me know, or I will finish up. It's always a pleasure, never a chore. Please check me out. I will be on Bucs Report. I help put out a bit of content on there on all the biggies. So Twitch. This is live on Twitch right now. So people at Twitch. This will also be on Facebook and Twitter. We also deal with some content on Tumblr. Snapchat. No, not Snapchat. We do not do Snapchat. Not yet. It may be coming. You never know. Tumblr, TikTok, and Instagram. So I do a couple of shorts on there. One slick minute, slick stance, all that kind of stuff, with some funny videos. And I think I might have to stop doing my funny videos, because I feel like my funny videos are cursing us. So we'll see. Guys, it's always a pleasure, never a chore. I had my rant. I never thought I'd be a ranty person, and here I am ranting about how I need to see something from this offense. Buccaneers offense, don't take it personal. Get to work hard, convert some tutties for us, because we need it. Because right now, we were looking. Everyone was talking about us being a Super Bowl contender. I don't know if I don't even know if we're contending for anything right now. I know it's early. It is very early in the season, so it can be fixed. I hope it does. BA, I got a red pen if you need one. You can come to my house. I'll give you the red pen. We can do it together. I don't mind. I to be honest, I know nothing about offensive football. Give me the defensive game plan. We can have a chat about that. But I'm sure Coach Bolton knows way more than me. Take that red pen and come up with something. Because when you were red pen and shit, we were winning games. And we were getting touchdowns. So that red pen might be needed, brother. Anyway, guys, always a pleasure, never a chore. Bucs on me, Bucs on free. 1, 2, 3. Go Bucs!